Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 29th of March, 2022. I'm Michael Thompson. Every afternoon, Australia's most popular business podcast brings you the 5 news items you need to know about today. So let's jump into it. Story number 1 is the market. It was a good day today. The S&P ASX 200 closed on a 50-day high at 7,464 points. That's up 0.7% across the day. A lot of movement in the tech sector really helped to pull the market higher. Block, formerly Square, the owner of Afterpay, climbed nearly 6.8%. Artificial intelligence company Appen jumped about the same. While the big banks all recorded further increases today, the big miners had more mixed results. BHP and Rio Tinto edged down, while Fortescue recorded a small rise. Coal miner Whitehaven recorded the biggest drop today, down more than 4%. But shareholders shouldn't be too disappointed, though. With coal prices booming, Whitehaven's up more than 26% for the month. Story number 2 is all about spending money. Retail took off in February, with shoppers making the month the second best on record, with spends 20% above pre-COVID levels. Not bad. Shoppers spent $33 billion in February, up 1.8% over the month and 9.1% over the year. The Australian Bureau of Statistics says discretionary spending recorded the best results, doing well with the clothing retailers and department stores. Hospitality was also up, while takeaway food sales dipped, probably reflecting a preference towards going out after the lockdowns rather than staying home. But with food prices and petrol having risen since February, March's numbers are not looking good, with consumer confidence plummeting. Story number 3 is about a bit of M&A activity. First is internet telco Uniti. It received an increased $3.4 billion takeover bid from an investment group led by HRL Morrison out of New Zealand. The bid of $5 a share matched what another party led by Macquarie Asset Management had already bid, but the new bid came with a condition that Uniti ends its talks with the other party, apparently because they were concerned about that party's half ownership of rival telco Vocus. Long story short, Uniti Group examined both proposals and has agreed to engage with HRL Morrison. As far as takeovers go, that one's a bit different. As for Uniti, its share price closed down 1.7% today after a short, sharp rise after opening. 2 more very quick ones in the M&A space. Fortescue's Andrew Forrest, the country's second richest person, has purchased 8% of shipbuilder Austal. That's an interesting company making ships for commercial and military use. And the purchase of Crown Resorts by US investment giant Blackstone is a step closer. After the Foreign Investment Review Board approved the acquisition, it's certainly not a done deal just yet. It still has a few more hoops to jump through, including a big one, shareholder approval, which of course means James Packer. Story number 4 is a somewhat disturbing development in our region. The Solomon Islands is set to sign a new security deal with China, which could see China send police and other assets there. In other words, it gives China a military foothold in the region. As you can imagine, Australia's not happy about it, same with the US and New Zealand. Scott Morrison has apparently been on the phone to other regional leaders trying to rally opposition to the deal, but China says those efforts are doomed to fail. Not good news. Story number 5, of course, is the budget. Now, in case you've forgotten, it is on tonight, so grab some popcorn, settle in for a fantastic 30 minutes of TV viewing from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And I'm not even joking about that. I reckon I have not missed a budget night speech for about the last 15 years. Temporary cuts in petrol excise, $250 cash payments for about 10 million people, an expansion for the Home Guarantee Scheme, and an $18 billion infrastructure spend are all on the menu. The budget's likely to forecast a jobless rate of just 3.75% for later this year. The good news for everyone there is a tight labour market puts upward pressure on wages and salaries. On the other hand, those increases will drive inflation upwards. So tonight's going to be a bit of a balancing act for Treasurer Josh Frydenberg. We will have all the analysis of the budget for you tomorrow morning with economist Stephen Koukoulas. Don't miss it. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 29th of March 2022. Adam Lang and I will be back tomorrow morning for the Wednesday edition of Fear and Greed. I'm Michael Thompson. Enjoy your evening.